One. Check it. Wow. Yeah. It's episode 172 of the A2 show. Welcome. We're back.
And I'm going.
Ankur Singh, welcome. Our first guest from Austria. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much for inviting me for the talk.
Awesome.
Really.
All right. Yeah, great. And then we're back with
It's amazing to have you,
Paco.
man.
Muhammad Ali Dad is back also. And yeah, let's
What's up, y'all?
jump right into it. Ankur, you how do you describe? You're an industrial designer, so you illustrate car. How do you describe what you do? Yeah.
I sketch
Okay.
cars.
You sketch car.
It had to be very straightforward.
Pretty
But
straightforward.
man,
basically, I'm an industrial designer.
Okay, sounds good. And what kind of cars?
I'm an industrial designer, then turned into car designer, and now basically I'm working for almost everything. It's not specifically cars. Usually you
Okay.
see cars and things like that. But sometimes, like, I'm very flexible. I'm also working on different stuff, like
Okay.
products and interior.
Nice. And
Yeah.
what kind of cars do you like, Ankur?
Right? All kind of cars, pretty
All kinds,
much.
right.
I'm basically a fan of like the old cars because I feel that there's a lot of history and
That's my man. That's my man right here. No, because I saw a picture you drew.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry for cutting you off, bro, because, bro, I love your work. I really, really love your work.
Here we go. Yeah,
Very much.
these are some of your designs right here. Let's which picture do you see?
Yeah, it has a nice picture of this old Mercedes, this like E-Class Mercedes. I don't know if it was a 300E or an Evo 2. I'm not sure what it was. It was
It was
nice.
300.
Oh, where is that?
It was a nice Mercedes. I like the sketching.
Yeah, I like to explore the old cars
Sorry.
because
It's nice having another car guy on the podcast.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And these sketches. How long have you been sketching for?
sketching from since my childhood, I would
Wow.
say that. But like proper sketching, I would say
Yeah.
I started in 2013. Was
Okay.
when I started sketching like proper things. Before that, I was sketching dogs, cats, whatever I see.
All right. And do you remember?
I never sketched car before.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So like usually car designers, they have like an innate passion. I developed my passion with time. So then I realized that, okay, maybe cars interest me more and I sketch. So let's try this because I come from a background where it was all about engineering and everything.
Okay.
For me, sketching and designing a car was not a concept. I got to know in 2013 that the cars are designed actually. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh. Okay. So let's start off. Why did you start getting into cars? You said you weren't really into cars, and then for some reason you started sketching them more. Do you remember the first cars you were sketching? Like what were they?
I like at that time I used to sketch cars from fantasy, like Batman's car and things like that, and sometimes very rugged cars, flying cars, things like that. But I think after that, then I realized that okay, this is more like a fantasy, like more like a child's work. But if I
Okay.
want to proceed with that, I think it has to be more on point. And then I decided that maybe I should go for design studies. I think that's much better, and then I should learn it properly and execute it properly. So then I went for industrial design. There I took a major of car design, and then
Yeah.
I came for another master's, which was car design again. And yeah, in the meantime, I learned. So basically, I developed everything during my studies. It was before that I was only doing sketching, but not anything specific, I would say.
Okay. Sounds good. So why don't I just get right into the details, the specifics right here. What is this car I'm looking at?
This car.
Yeah.
That is straight from Tron. Basically, the idea was to have something which is simple.
Yeah, what is there, bro?
Where are the wheels? These are the wheels?
No, we don't see
Oh.
the wheels are always have to be circular. We don't care about that sometimes. But the inner shell, like everything, I think that was the idea. For this one, I took inspiration from this Apple mouse because I like this side view of a
It looks
mouse.
like a
It looks
mouse. It
very
does look
sleek.
like a mouse so much.
Yeah,
There you go.
and the
Yeah.
and the upper part, you can see that it looks like it's going to move forward or backward. It looks like that. If you put your
Yeah.
hand, this can shake.
Oh,
So
so that's how
that's the
how does it open up?
it can.
How does it open? Oh, like that, slides. Wow. And you think this is um something that's like viable, or is it just like for like a fun sketch?
I think at this point of time we are in an age when I think everything is possible. I saw
Wow.
Renault Trezor,
Yeah.
and then I saw BMW Vision 100. I think these days we can do anything.
Oh,
And
wow.
we have to think a bit more like in terms of not always in terms of production. I mean, production is always
Yeah.
necessary. I think we also have to push a little bit so that we also give some efforts to the engineers, like to
I see.
make it happen.
Wow. It's pretty cool, just because I mean, like, cars have been pretty much kind of the similar in shape or standard four-wheel car for longest while. Before that, they were different, but the kind of cars you're talking about, like this is just, it looks so different than any car I've ever seen on the streets. And yeah, does this inspire like some of your design, you said?
See, the problem with these kind of cars,
Yeah.
cars is that they're only concept cars, and so they only put them as a show. Concept cars are made for sales, like, yo, look at BMW, we're doing for the future.
Yeah.
Even though these cars are not going to be available in the future or even today, like they're just there to show off, like, yo, we're gonna do this, even though we're not, but we're gonna apply some technology from the idea to today's, like for instance, night vision cameras that was implemented in a concept car Mercedes developed, and it wasn't until later they implemented in the S class, in the early like 2006 2007 S classes. So the like, but it's nice that they. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was saying that I also agree with that. Sometimes it's little disappointing when you see a concept car like super futuristic, and then you see something which is more subsidized. But I was also having the same feeling before, but now I realize, like, working in the industry, I feel that it's also, if you keep working on something which is possible now, I think that creates a kind of monotony also to the customers and to the people who are working for it. So, and these kind of projects, they're really cool because when there's a department, they're working on production cars, they have limitations, they have rules and regulations and everything. And then they have something, okay, now we have to show the vision, what we can do in future. And it's free for you guys. You guys can invest your brain, what you think, and then it becomes interesting for the people who are working on it, for the company, because they can envision what they can go for. And then also for the public, because I can aspire, okay, this Vision 100, maybe it's too futuristic, but this is what they can achieve. And you will see in the next models, they are trying to implement bit by bit. Because one main thing is that now we talk about wheels which are completely covered and everything, they look cool, they are concepts, but they cannot implement it properly because it also involves a lot of infrastructure. So if we don't change the infrastructure and things like the roads and then the signals and
so for the covered wheel things, why do you need to change the roads for the car to be built differently?
Because right now what we are thinking when we talk about concept, we are for few points we are just taking a little bit of exaggeration, like the wheels are super flat and they are touching the ground, but in real life we cannot do that until the roads are properly done. So we take a little bit of leverage when we are doing the concept work, and we try to exaggerate it, thinking that in future we'll have these kind of technologies and we can do that. So it's just a teaser for you not to disappoint, not to get bored of the same brand.
Oh, I see. And what do when you say roads of the future, what do those, how are those different than the roads we have today?
I think a lot of things, because when we are designing a car for future, we also have to think about the infrastructure. We cannot just say that, okay, this car is going to fly, because, okay, if this car is flying, where are the planes going? So, and for flying cars, for example, do you fly it with a pilot license or you have a driving license? So there are a lot of things. So when we think about future, we just take a little bit of
Yeah, I wouldn't get in a car in a flying car. I would never do that. If we can't even barely drive, if we can't drive. If
Exactly.
people can
And
barely
imagine
drive,
chaos.
people can't even fly.
Yeah. And imagine this kind of chaos you can see, and you can just save yourself. But yeah, so as I said, that when we think about future, it's mainly the car, but also the infrastructure which we think. Like, for example, if I'm making a car and it has a battery pack which charges itself when you're driving on the road, and there's a pit stop, you go there, you stand there, you don't have to plug in anything, and it charges itself. But in that case, you also have to design the whole kiosk where the car is coming, and then it's charging. So it's not only the car, but also the system and the whole organization that you have to take care of.
But I feel like that's happening, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that exists already. It's just it's not, because it's not profitable. They don't implement it. You understand?
And then there are a lot of things that like, for example, if I want to make a car with the wheels completely outside, but the government norms, you cannot do that. Okay, you're making an autonomous vehicle. Like, we are talking about autonomous vehicle from last, I don't know, 10 years, that the cars are going to run on their own.
Yeah, okay.
But the problem is, your car is running on your own, but the other guy might not be on the safer side.
Oh, is that the issue?
So
that it's like
that can be one issue, because if you're driving an autonomous car and it can interact with other cars, so that thing, only one smart thing cannot change everything. The system has to adapt. So
wow.
I think I totally understand you, Mohammed.
Ali Dad, would you just mute when you're not talking? There's like a little bit of a noise. Cool. And yeah, you're good. And we were talking about the cars of the future, wheels of the future. What are the wheels of the future look like? Yeah.
Wheels of the future. If you really want to see some cool wheel concepts, I think you should see Hankook. That's the company. They make a lot of concept wheels.
Hankook.
Hankook.
Wheels, tires.
Yeah.
Let's see what they
wheel
have.
Concepts. Yeah.
All right. Hankook. What Hankook?
Yeah.
These?
So with a K. And Kook.
Oh, okay. The tires.
Hankook, I would say.
Hankook wheels. Let's see what this pops up. Oh wow, like these stuff.
Tires.
Yeah, these like the red one.
Oh wow. Okay.
These ones.
Like these ones, like the red one.
And,
I see.
Yeah, okay. And they have some videos. Some videos they're already working on. Like, this one is hydraulics. Okay. So the thing with this one is, it's not one piece. It's basically two pieces, and they shift. So when you're turning, you have better grip on the corners. And when you're running normal, you have a wider area.
Oh wow! And is it just for like high end cars, or is this starting to get more like for widespread? I don't know.
No, they are working on quite a big range of vehicles, and some of it they are already using for the rovers, and for buggies they are already using it, and they are also trying to put, like, because they had a concept in which they had the honeycomb structure in the wheel, and that was basically the rubber casing with no air inside. And that was also like displayed by them, and then it came to reality. They made it, and now many trucks they are using it. Also in the army they are using it.
The honeycomb, like this?
No, not this one. It was basically a mesh, like a rubber mesh.
I see.
And
all right.
Yeah, okay. This one. Yeah.
Which one?
The black one.
Like one of these.
No, the third row. Third row. You go to the third one
I see.
below.
Below this
Yeah.
one.
These military. Yeah, this one.
Okay. What about these wheels?
These
They look
wheels, they
simple.
don't. First of all, they
Mhm.
don't need air, so they are basically completely rugged wheels. They don't puncture, and they can bear.
That's great. Yeah.
They can bear a lot of weight,
Hmm.
and they are working into different terrains.
Ali, Ali,
What's up?
my PC is lagging a lot. So can I switch to my phone?
Do your thing, man.
My PC is lagging a lot. Can I switch to
Yes,
my
yes.
phone? Or
Yeah, yeah. Just exit and
like I'm
rejoin.
gonna log out and log back in.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah, because I could not hear any. I really wanted to hear the part and talking about the Hankook tires, but it was just lagging a lot.
Just yeah, exit, come back,
I
dude.
think
No issues. All right. Um. So, all right. Amazing. Um. When you think that when we get autonomous vehicles, it'll happen like all at once. Is that the only way to make it happen? Like, or is it because you say like you can't have some of them alone on the streets? It's not maybe as safe. So you think that it'll just be like a wave of autonomous vehicles when it rolls out?
there is already a wave because people have already started adapting
Mm-hmm.
the autonomous culture. Like you see with Tesla, you see with other Asian car manufacturing companies, they're also pushing it a lot. Um, Even the existing car brands, like for example Honda, so they're also pushing it with e-mobility and autonomous interiors, basically. I think that's already there. Just that it cannot come immediately. It cannot be all at once, and it cannot also come one by one. So people are first. The main thing is that people have to adapt according
Okay.
to it. So because autonomous is something that,
You think people aren't
frankly speaking,
they're not comfortable with it yet? Like people aren't like
they're still
comfortable.
adapting.
They're still
Because
adapting. Hmm.
yeah,
I think
there are a lot of things.
for me, I think it's safer. I'd rather like when I drive, I feel like I need to be, I mean, I'm alert and stuff, but I feel like I can make mistakes. But I would trust maybe an AI system more than my own driving. But I don't know how you feel about that. Yeah.
I feel I mean, as a designer, I feel this is a big step, but there are a lot of things that are happening alongside, because some people, they don't feel safe. Some people try to argue with this point that they
Mhm.
still have to have the control of the car,
Yeah.
and when they don't have it, they don't feel very safe.
As opposed to no
Uh,
control. Like, do like autonomous vehicles, the ones being built, are they designed like with no wheel, no steering wheel, or no?
Ali, have
no,
you ever
you
been in a Tesla?
I've been in a. I don't haven't been in a Tesla actually. I haven't been in a Tesla.
All right, Ankur, have you ever been in a Tesla?
Tesla is really, I mean, I've never seen such complete and such simple interior in my life. It's just a steering and a big screen. That's it.
The
That's it.
problem is, I
And
feel like that car would have too much power. Like like that car can reach up to
yeah,
1,000 horsepower in the seconds, not even minutes, seconds.
Mhm.
So I would feel like if people had that kind of power, they would use it recklessly. Like they wouldn't care how they would book it, they would speed, and they would
it's
cause accidents
it's
because they wouldn't
actually
know how to control.
exactly
Say that again.
for me. I think, as if I have to say that how's autonomous coming to life, how people are adapting according to it. I think it's a process of also evolution, not only in terms of automobile but also for people, because you cannot just take advantage and leverage of this, that it's autonomous and you just push it, like Mohammed just said, that you don't have to exploit it. And apart from that, you also don't have to lose the feeling of driving, because that's also a kind of pleasure that people want to have.
Yeah. Mhm.
Imagine if everything goes completely autonomous. Why we are not having complete autonomous car? Because people still want to have control
Uh-huh.
as in not in terms of speed, but to own something. And if you don't have it, then it's if you don't have it, then it's like riding in a bus.
I know, yeah, but I
small
feel
bus.
like, but I think you don't think maybe in the future it could be like that, where they just have all the vehicles autonomous, and maybe it's like for like safety reasons they'll just say,
Yeah,
hey, we
I
don't we
think
trust the robots more than you, so you don't get the choice to drive because it's not safe. Is that
I
yeah?
think it's little different in my opinion. That can be
Mhm.
my personal opinion, but I
Sure.
think in future it will be like people who can afford it, they'll have petrol or diesel cars,
Oh wow.
and the normal people might have public transport.
The trams you're talking about, all the public transportation of the future, are those also autonomous? Are they controlled by people?
There's probably gonna
Will
be
be
a conductor though.
completely will be completely autonomous.
Oh wow.
Completely
No, they
autonomous because
no, they will be autonomous, but there will be a conductor for safety.
yeah, for sure. Because you cannot train a machine after a level because they can only think in binary, right?
Mhm.
Positive or negative. So they just calculate this is the bigger risk or that's bigger risk, but they cannot have a third way. So I think, like Mohammed said, that
Oh.
there will always be a guy who will be monitoring this, but
Mhm.
hugely it will be working autonomous. I think that's how I imagine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
But I feel like somebody could just hack the system. Like that's why I don't trust autonomous vehicles,
Yeah.
autonomous like anything
anything autonomous, huh?
on the daily life.
That happens.
Like I feel like I'm gonna turn off the switch on everybody. I'm gonna hack the system.
In that case, we just have to come
If a
back to
14-year-old boy can hack Google,
That is well, I feel like
yo,
there's got to be a lot of more like anti-hack people now, like jobs of people just
hey
trying to
man,
figure
there's
out
always a door left open.
how to.
as I said, the future is not unpredictable because
Hmm.
I remember when I was doing my master's, my bachelor's. At that time, we had projects where we had to design car for 2020, future, future 2020, and now we are in 2020, wearing a mask, cannot go to work. So this is
Yes, who the
you
future is
cannot
hard.
predict the
Like you
future.
can't predict anything.
Yeah, the future is hard. Future is
Like,
hard. You cannot just
but you can design it, right? Is that what you're trying to do here? What am I looking at?
design it. Yeah,
I'm
you
good.
can.
What am I looking at? What is?
This this was basically a bot, like a racer bot. It can be used by the military to fight. It can maneuver to different
Oh, it's a
terrains.
robot.
Uh,
It's a robot. You
it's a
design robots
robot.
also, but it's a robot vehicle. It's like a car, like a smart war car.
It's it's like a it's like a transformer, which you can program.
He made his fantasy come
Yeah,
true. Had
That's
I
pretty cool.
actually took inspiration from Transformers, and
Uh-huh.
I watch a lot of sci-fi stuff. I think if you have to see creativity in that massive and like killer level, I think you should look to concept art. That's my source of inspiration for all time.
Like what?
Concept art and
I
nature.
always tell my sisters, like my sisters are studying to be doctors, inshallah. I hope they become doctors, right? So I was watching the Star Wars movie, and I was like, yo, that robot's gonna take your job.
Oh
That
no.
robot right there, he's fixing Anakin Skywalker's arm. Remember when he cut off his arm
Yeah.
and a robot was always what's it called? Was fixing his arm, replacing his arm with another arm.
But they use the
It's
robots
like
as
that
tools.
robot.
Not like replacement. They use them as like assistants, like BB-8
No, he's gonna replace
or
it.
C-3.
He's gonna replace. There's gonna be no more such thing as a doctor. There's gonna be a robot with a serial number.
That
So
As I said, future can be anything,
the future.
anything.
Hmm.
We don't know
That's true.
because yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
The
Please go ahead.
And so these transformers, you say, are they being built, or is it just like designs for
No,
now,
no,
or
no. It's
okay?
usually in Instagram or social media, I'm just sharing the personal stuff or
I see.
things which I'm allowed to share,
I
because most of the work, yeah,
uh-huh. I see.
most of the work we are not allowed to share because of the NDA,
Yes.
non-disclosure.
Okay.
So
What's your sci-fi like favorite movies or shows? Like, what are your inspirations when you make these? Like Tron, is that big for you?
This guy.
Tron was one of them. Tron was the most earliest one.
Uh-huh.
I saw it, and I think I like Transformers. I like um, Oblivion. I love Daniel Simon's
Oblivion
work.
is a
It's
nice movie
really
with Tom Cruise. Yeah.
in that one you must have seen. There's a suitcase which turns into a bike. Everything comes in and
Yeah.
goes
Yep.
out.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And there's a bubble ship. There's a bubble ship, and I read the interview. It's basically inspired from a bee, like the head and the tail. So
Okay.
So it's wow, it's
you
okay.
when you
Bumblebee.
see the story, it's crazy. It's a lot of work, and then Star Wars and Titan, and I also play a lot of sci-fi games like in Xbox,
Like what
PlayStation,
games? Like what kind of games you play?
Call of
Call
Duty,
of
Call of
Duty.
Duty
Yeah, the
Infinite,
sci-fi in that
yeah,
is wild. Um.
Destiny,
Mhm.
Destiny is a
Anthem,
good game.
yeah,
Mhm.
Anthem is also crazy. If you look at the costume and the amount of detail they are putting in for each and every character, it's crazy,
So,
and you can get a lot of inspiration from that.
oh wow, all right, and I mean, it's like I think what's pretty cool is you do a bunch of different stuff. Like you have race cars, and then you also have futuristic things,
He has a sneaker on there too, a Nike sneaker.
like a sneaker.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, there's one.
Where did
There's
I
one.
miss it? Is it down here?
It's I'm not. Yeah, you missed it. You missed it.
It's up there.
I think it's below. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's a. What's that?
Is
Oh,
that an Alfa Romeo?
what is it?
It's an alpha.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's an
Actually,
Alfa Romeo.
yeah. Actually, this one was not like I was not taking any reference. I just started with this triangle, the scudetto they call it in
Yeah.
Italian. So then I started building up. And the funny thing about these sketches, which you see with marker, they actually happened accidentally because I at my home, I have my markers which are dying. I just had this black
Okay.
marker and I was just scribbling, and it came out well because in this one I'm not worried about the lines and everything. It's
Mhm.
just very like scratch, and somehow comes out good. I don't know. So I tried it again and again, and I think this is one style which I really like to do.
Do you
So
do
that's
you
it.
like have to like look at the car when you're doing it, or
So no,
do
no, no,
you no you don't need to? So it's this car, the Alpha car.
no,
Well,
no, no. I
No,
mean,
no, 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 no.
what's it
It's
called?
this
I
is
don't know what it's
8C
called.
competition.
What? Sorry.
This is like a 4C.
4C,
There are
yeah.
two cars. One is 4C and one is 8C competition. That's what they call it.
Oh, I
No,
see.
it's a and it's a really
Portfolio.
All right, can
long.
you explain to me?
Yeah.
Because I really don't understand what you're saying here. What? Yeah. Mhm.
So,
Alfa Romeo
Mhm.
it's pretty much a Chrysler. Like Chrysler bought out Alfa Romeo, Fiat. No, Fiat bought Chrysler. Fiat owned Alfa Romeo. But I will say this: would I buy an Alfa Romeo? Yeah, a lot of Alfa Romeos are not that good of a car. It's a good car when it works. Okay, but
That looks pretty
that
cool.
blue one, I think that's the blue one he was talking about. Yeah.
Oh
But he
wow.
made it look nicer, to be honest.
Do you make it look what like a little wider, or is it just from this angle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he probably put but and it
Mhm.
looks nicer to be honest.
Needed
It's a
more
really
wider
powerful
plate.
car, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a V6, by the way.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
turbo
Needed a little
V6.
wider.
I see. All right. Let's look at some more.
Do you watch F1, by the way?
Do you watch F1? Do you watch like racing?
F1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not an avid like follower, but
Mhm.
sometimes I do.
Okay. Me neither. I'm not. I don't watch at all. But I'm just asking.
I think you need a lot of patience for that.
No, it's a nice sport. It's a nice sport, and it takes a lot of energy to be a part of that sport. And I
And
feel like you would have to be drunk to understand it.
I've
Like you
to race
really have to
cars.
love
What do you
that
mean?
sport.
To understand F1, like to understand
Yeah,
race?
because there's a lot of rules that form.
Yeah.
And NASCAR.
Like what? I don't know. Like
I have no
isn't
idea.
it just
But I know there's a
drive
lot
your
of rules.
car? Isn't it just drive your car?
No. There's a lot of rules and regulations of that game.
Oh, is this a race car? Is this?
Yes.
Yeah, I see. What's it doing right here? It's going through glass,
I don't know.
ice.
Maybe.
Let me see.
This was one. This was done just to give a
Mhm,
feeling of like a water paint
mhm.
color. I mean, it's done digital. It's not done with.
By hand. Mhm.
Somehow I like that also.
Did
To
you
have
see the
something
new
with
BMW? Did you like the new front grill of the new BMW?
grill. The grill is a little oversized, I would say.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. It's a little
The
too
grill
big for
is
the
little
car.
oversized. Yeah, I mean the cars. Sometimes it's like from one view it looks completely different, and from the front it looks completely different. And I think the whole industry is talking about the grills now because they look massive. They really look
Same thing
massive.
with the Lexus. The Lexus grill. Have you seen the Lexus grills on their GX? And they're just too big of grills. Like it's unnecessary to be that big, and it
They're
doesn't
super
look
huge.
nice.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is that if you make the grill too big, then you have to either make the lights big so that it complement, or you make the
Mm-hmm.
light like super minimalistic. But not every brand is following that. And I think if you make the
Yeah.
grill too big, then it's little tricky.
I see.
Like you see the Lexus, it looks like a cat.
With the eyes, that's funny.
Yeah, with the eyes, it looks like a cat. And I'm like, oh
Transformers.
man, I'm
Yeah.
trying to have a dog, not a cat.
That's funny. All right, and then what about? So, do you know if there's any changing anything with the lights of the car at all in your
Lights,
design?
yeah,
Mhm.
with lights, I think they're also trying a lot of things with lights. For example, Audi, they are
Mhm.
trying a lot of different kind of functionality they're applying to the lights. Now the lights are not only for giving visibility to the front. They're also for
It's like a
signaling.
camera.
They're also for projection.
Oh
Smart
wow.
lights smart lights they can actually block the cars who are coming in the opposite direction.
Yeah,
They block you so that you don't get the light on your eyes basically. So you just see the other part.
but
And
you can flash the light without, but it won't like get like
yeah,
block their face.
it's
Yeah.
like there's a shutter system, so you get maximum light on this empty road, but the guy who's coming from the other side won't get the same intensity. He'll have a dim version where he can still see you. And I think that's a smart way of categorizing where you want to focus and what you don't want to focus. And also when you're turning, the light is kind of folding with you, like in terms of fading. So it also gives an impression like like it's this whole thing is kind of alive. It's like what is the function of eye for a human face? It's basically emoting. So
Wait,
emotions and
what is
emoting
that?
is I think
Is
very
that what it
important.
is? Is that what the design is? Like the eyes and the mouth
Yeah.
is supposed to
Yeah.
mimic a
Yeah,
human
bro.
This
face?
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that.
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Actually, like one of the this pop-up lights, they were also like one of my friend, he told me he worked with some designers who worked on that. So they said the inspiration was somewhere coming from this frog eyes, you know, when they are
The Fall
in,
Guys game.
and
Yeah.
when you need it, they're completely out,
Uh-huh.
going down. I think these kind of inspirations really work to make your product more story worthy, I would say.
More story worthy. Is that what you're thinking when you're like trying to like design a new car? You're um, like, does it have like a story or like a character like to it? Each car, or
A
what?
car is more of a
This
story.
one,
Yeah.
It's like your girlfriend that you wish you had but you don't have.
So
I
you
mean, she
draw
costs
about
as
it.
much as a girl.
yeah, this is one of my favorite car. But yeah, like
Yeah.
what I can see in that car is something like this, because you can see the underlights, and it's not exactly I want to show that how the car will look like, but the emotion. Like if I paint this car completely red or yellow, it will be a different emotion altogether. It will be more like, okay,
And this one's like
funny.
cool. This one's like a
It's
cool.
more like an underground racer or something like that. Something which is more flashy, I would say.
I see. All right. Oh wow. All right. And you space. Do you work on any like space like flight like it like planes and aircraft at all design?
Yeah,
Or,
I try to. I mean, in terms of work, we work
I
on different
okay.
sectors. But I think as an individual, I try to explore all sort of possibilities. I try to make drones, buggies, and planes, gliders, skateboards,
Skateboard?
anything that can. Yeah,
Yeah, like electric ones like that drive themselves. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
something like that. So
something like that.
try to explore everything a little bit. Yeah.
Um, what about like hover vehicles? Do you think those are like possible, like vehicles without wheels that just hover on the ground? I don't know.
Hovering vehicles,
Hmm.
hovering vehicles are
God
possible.
forbid.
Hovering vehicles are possible, but there's a lot of. It's. I think the design is playing a smaller role in that, but it's more about the technicality. Like for example, if I want to make uh, like a skateboard hover, the problem will be the battery, the motors, the fans, and they have to be heavy and everything. So I think the technical part has to play a very strong role, and then if it is feasible, then the design can jump in, because otherwise it will be a mixed
It
match.
has to be light, super light.
Exactly.
It
You
has to
think
be
You have
super
to
light because you don't drag.
you think it's possible though, right? Just with innovation, with more
it is
technology. Yeah.
100% it is possible, because there are people who are working on the prototypes where they are putting the rocket boosters and you can fly for some height. And I was just watching this video from Arizona. I think someone was trying the jetpack and he built it in his house and it works.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is like, you cannot imagine this.
A jetpack in your backyard.
Someone can make this
You can build it, I
in
guess,
the
right?
backyard. Yeah,
In your backyard. And like companies, big companies, I guess. You think like if they pursue more like innovation, like put their money more towards that, they would come up with new products versus like right now they're trying to satisfy I can imagine from I heard this once that whenever you see like a car ad on TV, it's more like for like loyalty branding and just like, oh, I own this car and I see it on TV, so it makes me feel good. But
No, no, no.
if you keep progressing and making new cars, does that make the cars you have kind of like obsolete, like from the past? Is that you know what I'm trying to say, Ankur? Yeah. All right. Um, do car companies
Yeah.
do car companies value more like taking care of their customer base, or do they want to like progress and make new vehicles, or is it doesn't
I
matter?
think
Yeah.
I think that's the zone that they want to play with the concept cars and the production cars, because in production cars they're trying to satisfy as much as they can, for the customers who need something which is present now. But if they keep doing this, they are basically not foreseeing the future. That's why they also have like a team, like a group. They decided to okay, this is for now. We'll maybe have complete front part. We can just put something else. Why not? So in that area, I think people start thinking a bit more, and then they try to experiment a lot of things, and then they show it. Like for example, a show car or a concept car. They always show it to the public, not willing them to come in and say, okay, can I buy this? No, because for a concept car, there's a lot of things that they get criticized for. Like for example, this is not good, that's not good,
Yeah,
and they take the learning from there and put it in the cars which they want
I
to produce
see.
now.
So it's like a little bit of change, like each time, and slowly
Yeah,
leads
I
to new.
mean, yeah, I mean, from a design point of view, you cannot
Mhm.
completely transfer 100% of design to production because there are a lot of real life entities. They are controlling a lot of things, like, for example, materials,
Yeah.
uh, construction, the
hmm
build type, and things like that. So they also have a part to play.
Have any of the cars you've designed been made?
I have worked
Produced.
on some. I have worked on some, and for some of them, it's basically not the complete whole thing. Like
Mhm.
the whole product cannot belong to you, but you work for a team, and the
I
team
see
is
what you mean.
basically
I see. Yeah. Okay. And what do you do? And
team
yeah.
is responsible for different.
And what do you? Yeah. So what is your like responsibility usually, or when you work on cars?
Sometimes I work on exteriors, sometimes I have to work on the interiors. It keeps switching, depends on what we need.
I want to see like
And
something.
there are a lot of,
So
Yeah.
what do you like drawing?
Yeah. I want to see
What do
something.
you like to draw the most, or what do you like to be a part of?
I like to draw. I don't have a specific, but I think I like to go a bit more sci-fi in terms of treatment, but I want to take the sci-fi inspiration from the past. So if I take a
Okay.
hot rod from 1930s and I can modify it
Okay.
completely for future, that would be cool for me. So I try to
I have another
explore.
question. Do you believe that cars today are more symmetrical in the sense where like it's just straight lines? It's more aerodynamic than before where it was all curves. Like if you look at a 50s Cadillac or a 60s Cadillac, they had the grill, they had the like the curved window and the curves. As long as it just it's more round than today. Like today is more of like a clean cut. You understand
I
what I'm
think
saying?
it's
Do you
yeah,
believe
yeah,
that's the
exactly.
case today? Like,
I think it's
do
about
you?
the demand. Yeah, I feel the same. Yeah, I think it is changing with time. Like every generation has their own catch. There were a lot of like for example, if you look at 70s or before that, every lamp was circular,
Mm-hmm.
the circular lamp, and then there's a bubble on the lamp, and the car roof
Yeah.
is always going like a bulge. So that was that time. Now everything started going a little bit in boxy style. Now in current age, I think everything is very sharp, very Audi like sharp. So super
Okay.
strong shoulder lines, super strong cutouts. I think that's also what people keep like asking for, because right now if you make something super soft, I think people will perceive it as a very family car, but not very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you can surely do that, but if that's your target, like for example, Mini has been doing it absolutely well because they focus on family cars. They're not focusing on something which is uh, like competing with Koenigsegg or something. So they are perfectly designing it in that
Yeah.
zone, and they're keeping the elements which keep the product more familiar to their own target group. So I think that's the
Okay.
kind of switching people are doing with time. But yeah, every generation has their own style. style. Like Tesla Cybertruck completely changed it. It's like,
Yeah.
we can do this. We can make something which is super strong and rugged, and why not? So yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, you got me excited, Ankur. I'll be honest. I was just I hadn't realized how much like the future is getting closer in terms of cars. All the things we talked about. You think these are like we're gonna see them coming soon, changes soon, or is the future unpredictable? We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Future will always hold the key, but I think it's already changing. In last 5 years, I've seen some of the concepts which were like which we were just talking about, and now
Yeah.
people are more into experimenting.
Hmm.
When there's an experiment phase, like what is happening with the cars now, I think you can predict that soon there's going to be a very drastic change in terms of automobiles. People depends on the kind of
Depends on the.
requirements people are having now. Yeah.
You think people trust a vehicle like this? They saw it. This looks so cool to me.
Nope.
It just looks so scary and also. It looks
That's ugly. I could draw that. I can get a ruler and draw that. Bro. There's like
Yeah.
no effort in drawing that.
Is
The
this?
thing with this car was
Uh-huh.
that when it came, there were a lot of people who were criticizing it, and a lot of people they liked it. But then after realizing this was not something which they made for everyone, you know. So and they were not fishing for compliments that everyone should come and say, okay, this is super nice, because they knew that there is going to be a backlash. And they're not even dealing with like fighting with car companies just to have their business.
That's true.
So they wanted to show that, okay, sometimes putting something which is completely different in the market can also attract people. And a lot of people, this was funny that a lot of these cars got booked like within the booking time. I think 60,000
Oh,
cars
wow.
were already pre-booked. So that shows that sometimes people just get how to say, fed
Want
up
something
with
different. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes going different can be good, can be bad, but it's different for sure. I think this is a very important factor that a designer has to always keep in mind.
And Tesla made such a good brand of themselves for being like everything they do is innovative, and with electric vehicles and some of the cars they've made. It's pretty cool how they branded themselves that way. Yeah. Ankur, thanks for coming on. That was our time for today. But I really appreciate your time. Is there anything you want to say or
No,
shout
I
out
appreciate you listening to me.
before we wrap up here?
Really glad you guys called me. Sorry for this delaying because of this pandemic. I
Oh,
think
you
nothing
cool,
is
bro.
in
You cool, bro.
proper scheduling. So I hope it was good. You guys
Oh,
also
I
enjoyed.
learned a lot personally. I knew
Man,
not too much about all this.
thanks for this
and you
amazing
gave us,
conversation, bro.
a lot of insight. So thank you. Yeah,
We can catch
I
up some
appreciate
other
this
time.
amazing
Maybe we can
conversation.
talk more.
it sounds good. Sounds good. Definitely,
I hope
100%.
so, inshallah,
Yeah.
bro.
And make sure to subscribe to the show if you haven't yet.
100%.
Exactly.
I haven't.
Subscribe, Ankur, if you haven't.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. Perfect.
And make sure to like and follow Ankur's page. We'll do that also ourselves. And let's stay connected and share this video if you learned something new. Thanks, Awidet, Ahmed, for coming on again. And
Thank you guys. Thank you.
see you guys later. That's how we sign out. And peace.
1,000 people that are calling me that needs me, and some of them are like, I've called you twice and you haven't sent me an architect yet to my home to assess it and to rebuild it. I'm like, okay, but we're like 5 to 6 to 10 people working. We're not a government. We're not a whole institution. You have to, there's
Joe is sound for presidents.
Yeah. Rebuild Lebanon, honestly. Yeah.
Actually, no, that's what I'm saying. That's why I started in the beginning of the podcast. I'm not the only one, and there's a lot of people that have done extremely much more. I can even name them. I've met them. They're exceptional. They're really
You can give a
professional.
shout out to people you think that are
Yeah,
like.
let's go. Let's
Yeah, I hope I don't miss anyone. I hope I don't miss anyone.